Recording in progress.
No man in the world. No man in the world.
The measure of any society is how it treats its women and girls. It's women and girls.
We create
the smart, powerful, creative, accomplished young women.
We can fight.
I'm here because of you. I'm here because girls like you inspire me. Many of these girls have faced unthinkable obstacles just to attend school. Any society is how it treats its women and girls.
One step still.
Your story is my story.
Buckle up, buttercups. It's another episode of Surly Voices here on WMNF Tampa 88.5. My name is Liz. I'm one of your hosts. My co-host, Dr. Maria Cole, is joining me via Zoom. How are you this morning, Maria?
I'm okay. Good morning. Good morning.
So, lots to talk about, as usual. You know, the one thing you can say about the Trump administration is it's always giving something to talk about. So, first off, let's talk about
everything but the Epstein files.
Right.
They're giving us everything but the Epstein.
Except the Epstein files, yes. So, but before we do that, let's touch on the global Samud flotilla. I believe by this point, most of the boats have gotten intercepted by the Israeli forces. There was one boat that was getting close to the waters of Gaza, but I don't know that they've made it. That's a story that keeps unfolding as we go. What do you know about the flotilla, Maria?
I was reading this morning that one boat made it to the waters of Gaza.
Mm-hmm.
IDF boarded their vessels. There was a little video of that.
Mm-hmm.
With them all sleeping, actually. So
yeah, the several countries sent their navy, or at least a boat from their navy, to protect the flotilla. But once they got out of international waters, they either fell back or turned back. So it's how messed up is it though that you?
I mean, well, we are all bearing witness to a genocide. Period.
Yeah, you're not even
the idea that you are stopping diapers, formula, and food from going to a region is horrifying.
Yes,
and those who are not acknowledging what's happening, and doing whatever they can to stop it, are complicit. The United States is complicit in this.
Oh, even more so than most countries, because
very much so.
Yeah, the United States has supplied weapons and funding for the genocide, and we totally have blood on our hands. If you want to join the conversation, 813-239-9663, or you can email to dj@wmnf.org. And I get really frustrated because some people out there are like low-key MAGAs. They're not like the ones who wear the hats and everything, but they won't say, oh yeah, Donald Trump is the greatest. But they'll say things like, I don't know why we're worried about what's going on in another country. We need to worry about our country first. And it's like they're killing babies and innocent civilians. They're wiping an entire people off the map.
That's a conversation that you have when you are cutting checks for weapons, right? Like, say that when you are arming them.
Exactly. So there's just so much complicity from the United States. And it's not just the Republicans. Let's make that clear.
It's 1,000% not just the Republicans.
Right.
The one issue that they can come together on is genocide.
Yeah. And it's like, I thought, Democrats were supposed to be the moral high ground. There's no moral high ground here unless you're cutting off funding and weaponry to the people who are committing the genocide. And it's too late now because they've pretty much stamped almost the entire country off. And it's like, how as a country do we reconcile helping Israel wipe out Palestine? How do we reconcile that? I don't see a way to claim that we are a great country when we've done something like this. And it's amazing to me. It really is. And it's very, very troubling. So I don't think that the flotilla will ultimately be successful, but at least it's causing it's causing news to come out about what the Israelis are doing in order to stop anybody from providing aid to Gaza. First, it was drone. One of the reasons that Italy and Spain started sending ships to protect the flotilla was because the Israeli drones had come out and were dropping things on the flotilla, and so that was one reason to have them the Navy's protecting. But I don't. Yeah, it's very disturbing to me. So there we are with that. Meanwhile, Trump and Hegseth spent millions of dollars to bring all the generals together, high-ranking generals, in one room rather than just having like a Zoom meeting. It's like it's the definition of this meeting could have been an email. So millions of dollars to bring all the generals together, and Trump is like, he walks into silence, and it kind of caught him off guard because, he's used to having all these adoring crowds and everything, and even made a remark about it. He's like, oh, well, I've never walked in and not had applause before. You can applaud, right? And they're just sitting there stock still. Good on them. And listening to the drivel coming from Hegseth and Trump, and it's like, what are these? I would love to know what they were thinking when they were sitting there. What do you think, Maria?
I think that he wanted to put on a production of 1933 Germany. And he thought that he would have the audience that the Fuhrer had.
Right.
Of, if you've seen like newsreels from those times, where they're all sitting there and, they give him the salute and everything. I think that that's what he was trying to do. Like, he was trying to create yet another headline opportunity to try to stop us from asking for the Epstein files.
Yeah. Like you said, they will talk about every single thing in the world except the Epstein files. And the Epstein files are still not released.
And honestly, that didn't even need to be a Zoom.
Right.
That could have been an email.
Exactly.
You had everybody come for you to sit there, have them sit there, and you tell them that they're fat, and no more, they had shaving rules, they had weight rules, they took away accommodations for women, one standard, and things like that. That could have been an email.
Exactly.
And besides that, I thought we knew all of that already.
Well,
right?
Like
we knew that they had already put this out, that this is what they were doing.
Right. Well, during Trump's section of the program, after he regained his composure for not being applauded, he said,
I don't think he ever regained composure.
I don't think he's ever really composed, but
that was a stretch.
Yeah, as much as he could be. He sat there, or he stood there and told these generals that they should be looking at training in these quote unquote war-torn cities in America. And it's like, you have to think that some of the folks in the audience were like, what is this dude saying? And they knew what he was saying. And when you look at the photos are hilarious, because they're as stone-faced as they can possibly be. They don't move, they just sit there. And it's like, we're not supposed to go around attacking our own citizens. Although Trump missed the memo on that. But yeah, he's totally trying to make the military turn on the citizenry of the United States. And it's like, where is Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer when all this is going on? Nowhere. That useless. I mean, where do we, at what point does just a massive exodus from Congress happen? Because some people can't abide what's going on. I don't know that it'll ever happen. Jack in Dover. Hi, Jack.
Hi, good morning. My question is, do you think that it could possibly happen that another country like Spain or England, or I doubt us, not the United States, but that somebody could possibly annex the area over there and make it a colony or a commonwealth of some sort, so that the people can survive, so that there would be no more genocide?
I think they already did that, and that's the reason why there is a genocide.
Yeah, I mean, they need to take it away from the Israeli occupation. I know now that they say that they're in charge of a government that will ensure peace so that Hamas will no longer be in charge, but it just feels to me like it should be somebody other than Israel.
Oh, sure, but that boat has sailed, you know?
Yeah, well, how are we going to get food to these people then? I mean, I'm thinking way out of the box, like maybe if we were to somehow get names of all the people that have still survived and buy them a cruise ship ticket, that we could at least get them on a cruise ship, and then give them food and medical and give them each a backpack, so that when they get back off the cruise ship and go home, that they'll at least have enough food to survive another month until the cruise ships can take another group of people back out.
I don't think that. I mean, I think that it is. I think that it is a trope to quite frankly, to blame Hamas, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we have to look at this practically. There was in the inception of Hamas, Bibi Netanyahu was funding them through Qatar.
Yep.
Right? To say that this is Hamas does not address what is happening in the West Bank, where there are illegal settlements and their homes are being taken from them by settlers in the West Bank. So the idea that you're going to keep Palestinians safe without addressing the root issue here is untenable. It just is not going to work, right? You cannot keep Palestinians safe under these circumstances, and it's unfortunate. There was the speech. I watched some of the speeches at the UN General Assembly last week, and the president of Finland suggested that, and I agree with them, we move the United Nations out of the United States.
Yep, because we're pretty hostile to it at this point. Yeah.
And we reimagine what the UN Security Council looks like, so that there is no more veto power, right? Because what's stopping the world from acting right now is the United States. It's us.
Well, my question is can the United States government, or can some other government other than Israel create a circumstance where Gaza could be sold to another country?
They don't want to sell it. They want to wipe it clean so they can develop it and make resort stuff.
Yeah, but it would be owned by Israel. So I'm just saying, could they sell it to Iran, or could they sell it to Spain?
They're not going to sell it, though, Jack, because they want the land. They just don't want the people on it.
I'm not saying the people that want it. I'm saying the people that are trying to survive on it, the Palestinians, the people that are there. Can they sell it? Is there any way that their governing body can sell the property to save themselves to another country?
So the Palestinian people have said, people that live in Gaza, they're not going anywhere. You can do whatever it is that you want to do to us. We are staying here.
Right.
And until you talk to Palestinian people and understand the depth and the breadth of their commitment to their homeland, simple solutions are not that simple. It's not. They are committed to being in their homeland, and they have every right to be.
All right. Thanks for calling, Jack.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. We have Robert in Siesta Beach. Hi, Robert.
Hello. I'm just concerned. How do you feel about Hamas' action preceding and up to October 7th, and the Islamic Middle Eastern power brokers, so to speak, with trillions of oil money, how they treat their citizens? I'd like to hear you expound about the virtues of Hamas up to and including October 7th, and as I said, human rights and the right of free passage throughout the Middle East for people of, a different faith other than Islam, or if you have a different sexual orientation. I'd like you to expound upon that.
Okay. And let's be clear. We're not advocating for Hamas. We're not like, yay, Hamas,
Correct.
Go Hamas.
All right.
Yeah.
Can I just, well, I think you have to look at Hamas in that context. You can't just say, Hamas is now on its heels and suffering for the bad decisions concerning its treatment of human beings, including its own people and the Palestinians, in Israel or, the Gaza Strip. So, it's unfortunate. You can, and it's kind of lazy to just go on at length in the UN and the U.S. This. But the reality is, at the end of the
Bibi
day,
Netanyahu funded Hamas.
Right. Now, well, you know what?
Bibi Netanyahu funded Hamas.
Hamas went on its own path, and it has gone on a very dark path.
Okay, but Robert.
And Israel is responding to that.
No.
And unfortunately, you know, Hamas still, at this point, they've held hostages for like how many years? So they're non-negotiable. It's been non-negotiable. They don't treat their own citizenry right. We know it's religious-based. When Islam lets go of certain aspects, because this country is based on religious freedom, that's why the UN and the U.S. and the rest of the world, we are the light, honey. The UN and the rest of the world is primarily a lot more dark concerning human rights. I'm sorry to tell you that, and I know, but that's in the present. So, at any rate, I'm done, and I don't want to hear some lazy-minded stuff that just doesn't really address very significant issues in this world. Have a great day.
Awesome. Thanks, Robert. Yeah, so let's be lazy some more, Maria. Let's talk about how Israel has one of the most elite military forces and intelligence forces in the world. And instead of targeting Hamas, they are targeting babies, women, children, all sorts of civilians. When
there are reports from doctors that volunteer in hospitals, right?
Mm-hmm.
That there's a Dr. Perlmutter from Boston, one of the leading pediatric surgeons who volunteers out of Boston to go to the Gaza, and he said that with his scalpel, he could not be more precise than how IDF soldiers have hit children in the heart and in the head.
And journalists, let's not forget journalists.
A record number of journalists have been assassinated because they don't want the truth to come out.
Right. They're killing. They're literally targeting.
They have a strategy of bombing a site and waiting for emergency vehicles to come with doctors, and then bombing it again so that they can kill the doctors and the emergency attendees that go to that site to try to relieve people. This is deliberate. This isn't Hamas is using people as human shield stuff. This isn't that. This is a genocide. It has been declared a genocide by ICC and ICJ. It is a genocide.
All right. So let's talk to Simon in Lakeland. Hi, Simon.
Hi, how you doing? What a great morning. This is Yom Kippur. Beautiful. Listen, I have to say, Dr. Cole, you're misdiagnosing. I would think better of you. We won't discuss dentistry, but it's not a genocide. And I'll tell you why it's not a genocide. But my first question is 2 points. Should Israel fight this war the way Arab and Muslims fight each other? If you're going to look at standards of war, and the Moor massacre, Hama massacre, Black September, Syrian civil war, Yemen, and the Saudis, so on and so forth. So you have to compare a comparison when you talk about war. So should Israel fight this war the way Arab and Muslims fight each other?
It's not a war so much as...
Well, it's a war. It's a war. As far as genocide, even Joan Donahue, who was the president of the International Court of Justice, said, quote, unquote, there's a plausible right to be protected from genocide. Now, if you're going to say it's genocide, then you have to compare how is this genocide different than other genocides. You look at Rwanda in 100 days, 800,000 people died. East Timor in 1975, 275,000 people died. with the Christians in East Timor. You look at South Sudan, genocide. There's more babies have been born in the last year. And the last thing I'll leave you with, which is very intriguing, in 2024, Israel had a 13% increase in military exports to other countries across the world. 13%. And 12% of that 13% were bought by Arab countries.
All right. Thanks for calling, Simon. Have an easy fast, and
You too.
we will talk
Take
to you
care.
later. All right. So, yeah, comparisons are great and all, but
I don't like the idea that we're over here like comparing genocides like hold my beer.
right, exactly.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes. It's not a contest to see who has the biggest and best
And
genocide.
it has been declared a genocide by ICC. It has been declared a genocide by ICJ. Leading Holocaust scholars like Omar Bartov have declared this as a genocide. What we are talking about is the killing of innocent people and deliberately starving them to death. That is a war crime.
And people remember when the whole Terry Schiavo thing was popping in the news? That was one of the things that made people most upset was, but they're going to starve her to death. And
Right.
she had no cognitive function whatsoever. We're talking about live walking around people who are totally cognizant of what's going on being starved to death. So if it's too bad a fate for someone who has no brain function, think about the trauma that these people.
I thought what was fascinating to me, there's a group of creative artists, actors that decided that they are not going to participate in any Israel-supported projects. And then there's another group of actors that said that if you did that, they spoke out against it, and they said that there is no room for collective punishment. And I found that fascinating because they are in support of Israel and they have a right to be. But they do not see what's happening in Gaza as collective punishment. But in this space of artistic expression, they do. And it's just wild to me how people can be so morally inconsistent.
Right. It's the cognitive dissonance is
right.
Shocking. Anyway.
Collective punishment for me, but not for thee. It's crazy.
Let's talk to Kaya in Clearwater. Hi, Kaya.
Hi, girls. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm in a bad mood. I just turned your show on, and unfortunately, I heard two clowns in a row. Two clowns back to back. It was last Simon and the guy before him. I only got the tail end of what he was saying, the first guy. But, Liz, did you read the disclaimer?
Oh, okay. The opinions expressed on Surly Voices are those of Surly Voices and not those of WMNF. And the opinions of our callers are certainly not.
I'm about to take it to the streets with Simon.
Oh, okay.
And for years, you're an asshole.
Okay, Kaya. We can't say some of those words. So
all right, well, I'll
yeah.
stop the question.
You know which ones. Hopefully, I dumped the feed quickly enough. So okay.
I hope it didn't. But anyway,
Well,
I won't say it again. But I believe that he's racist. I don't like him. He calls in all the time, and he says disparaging things about groups of people. I understand. I believe he may be Jewish. Surprisingly, I'm surprised how racist he is, but apparently anybody can be racist. And that's basically all I wanted to say.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling, Gaia.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye. Let's talk to Alvaro in Tampa. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for your program. It is wonderful that that the show is able to bring out real information. This type of information is very, very seldom found in the airwaves. So I'm glad that you have people there with enough knowledge to impart to all of us about what is happening. And yes, don't. I know you wouldn't be affected by people like Simon and those who are counting numbers. You don't have enough. You got to kill some more. There are not enough babies dead yet. You got to kill some more. You got to kill some more in order to be considered this, that, or the other.
Right.
So, thank you for the program.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. Let's see. Stephen in St. Petersburg. Hi, Stephen.
Hey, I like Simon. Hey, how you doing today?
I enjoy engaging with Simon. I think he brings a totally different perspective, and I like to hear from all perspectives. So,
well, I was going to bring up a point, and this goes back to the American Civil War. The Confederacy fired on Fort Sumter. Well, ultimately, when General Sherman is rehired back into the military, he tried to tell Abraham Lincoln something. He said, you can't reform war. Don't waste your time. You can't fight a gentleman's war. So Sherman was given the keys to invade the South, and the newspapers were calling Lincoln a tyrant. And the Northern Army of Aggression was called genociders, and because they're killing all the people in the South. The Confederate newspapers wrote about it. They called them every name in the book. And Sherman said, he goes, you make war on your enemy so brutal, so terrible, that they will never desire it again. And Israel is in a situation where they're fighting a guerrilla suburban enemy, that one day they're combatant, and then one day they'll be in the regular population. So Israel is trying to surgically win this war with the least amount of death. But at the same time...
No, they're not.
They're not trying to the least amount of deaths. They want, and they have said that they want to wipe the Palestinian people from existence. Bibi Netanyahu has said that. There is nothing surgical about this. They want to remove Palestinians from their land, period.
Israel has told them first of all, anybody can look this up in any history book or any glossalia language book. The word Palestine comes from the word Philistine or Philistine. The Philistines were Macedonians that migrated into Canaan, the land God promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which I know you folks don't believe in that. But anyway, all I'm saying is the people today that claim to be Philistines are actually Jordanian Arabs. And the king of Jordan would welcome these people back under one condition. Stop calling yourself Philistines. Now, Israel has said you got three choices. A, you become Israeli citizens, obey the laws. B, you go back to Jordan. Or C, you could choose death. It's up to them.
All right.
Understand?
Thanks for calling, Stephen. We got folks backed up in the queue, so I'm going to have to let you go, okay?
Yeah, the last thing I'd say is the Philistines disappeared 2,700 years ago. They're Jordanian Arabs that call themselves Philistines. That
Okay.
want to be okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Stephen. Mike in Sarasota. Hi, Mike.
Hey, thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to respond to just a few things that have been said. First, Israel not only created Hamas, they created the Gaza Strip itself when they ethnically cleansed Palestine in 1947 and 1948. And while they did that, and this is according to Israeli professor Ilan Pappé, they created the world's largest open-air prison, which is known as the Gaza Strip, and it's also a concentration camp. Now, I do want to make one other comment, responding to Bob and Simon, these Hasbara members who are trying to propagandize your show. You mentioned that they are not morally inconsistent. Well, I think that they are morally consistent, but they're not like us. They're not human rights supporters or like most Americans who support fairness and democracy. They have one basic motive. They support anything that they think is good for the Jews. That's what they're all about. They could care less about human rights or justice or mercy. That's all I have to say.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And let's be clear, we are not dissing on people because they're Jewish. We are dissing on the country of Israel. Greg in Tampa. Hi, Greg.
Hi, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Listen, I wanted to make the point that this change has to come from within. On the 18th of October, we're having the No Kings March again. And if it's anything like the last one, I mean, it'll be successful. People around the world look at this and they're like, hey, there's a lot of dissent in the United States about what's going on, about supporting Israel, who is clearly conducting genocide. Anybody who has a half a brain can see that. I mean, so change has to come from within. And I just wanted to make one other comment about something that one of your callers said about the Philistines. Well, if that were the case, then, the entire United States is really here illegally. Okay?
Yeah.
Because this was not exactly a continent or country owned by the English or anybody else, the French. So that type of thinking just is not modern.
Right. Okay. Thanks so much for calling, Greg.
You bet.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Let's see. Carolyn in Pinellas Park. Hi, Carolyn.
Hi, ladies. And Greg, no other men that I've called. Greg is the only one who gets the greeting. That was refreshing. I was about to say, can we stop giving them microphones for 1 second? And then he came on. So I just wanted to come on and say Free Palestine. I'm really on for the flotilla that's on the way there. I'm really proud of all of those people that are literally sacrificing their lives to, potentially help, maybe. But that hope and that is the fight for human rights. Right?
Yes.
So I just wanted to come on and just say that I love your show already. But Israel is committing genocide. Again, like you said, this is not against the Jewish community amongst we live. This is not about y'all and bringing all this religious text and everything into it. It is irrelevant. They are killing babies. They are starving children. They are killing mothers. The images that have already come out that we are seeing, how are people incapable of just looking around?
Right.
And it breaks my heart so much that there are people who are so pro-genocide and so willing to defend the murderers that they take the time out of their day to call into a radio show called Surly Voices as if they're going to turn our opinions. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say.
All right. Thank you so much for calling, Carolyn.
Of course. Love you, girls.
Love you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
All right. Let's see. Ted in Elfers. Hi, Ted.
Good morning. Long time no talk.
I know.
Wonderful as always. I hope I can reach Greg level someday. Just that one appreciation. I want to say Free Palestine also. I'd like to start there. I would also like to say that I'm in fear of being labeled a terrorist, even though I'm a Marine and an American. I am a Democrat. I speak out about Christianity. I speak out about the government. I speak out about a lot of things that apparently the leader of my country, who's supposed to represent me, wants to label me a terrorist for.
Yeah, I think he made it pretty clear he does not represent a lot of us. He only represents the ones that agree with him.
I already knew he hated me. He came right out and said that early on, that he hated me.
Right.
So it's not a surprise that he wants to label me a terrorist. The problem is if he labels me a terrorist, then I am a terrorist. So if I am a terrorist already, I might as well act like one. So who put me in the position where now I'm terrorizing because you made me a terrorist, not me? I'm at home trying to feed my kids. You're making me a terrorist. So whose fault is it? It's yours. I did also want to say, I'm glad I missed Simon. His voice is like Imodium for me. It makes me want to poop. And also Stephen, who usually I'm okay with because he says the Bernie stuff, which I'm fine with. But then he goes and pulls out here's my justification for everything I'm saying. It's a book called the Bible. And as soon as you do that, I want to vomit. The Bible is justification for nothing except for egregious tyranny by white men and all those who subjugate themselves to them. So if you're using the Bible as a defense for what you're doing, rethink what you're doing, please. Even if it's good stuff. If it's good stuff, great. I'm glad you're doing good stuff. Don't use the Bible to defend it, and it'll still be good stuff. As soon as you use the Bible, now you're justifying, and you start justifying, then we know you're coming from a position of weakness, because if you're strong and what you're doing is right, you don't have to justify what you're doing because everybody sees that what you're doing is right.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling, Ted. Nice to hear your voice again. All right. Rufus in Sefner. Hi, Rufus.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I just want to compliment the show. I really love it. And I wanted to share why I love it more now than I did about a month ago. I had called in on Down and Dirty. Dean Felder had a couple of Republican operatives on. And I kind of feel like they were just kind of playing patty cake. And I called in, and I wasn't vulgar, but I was direct and said what I felt like saying. And afterwards, I kind of got drugged down, for not having diplomacy and decorum and all that stuff. And I was really disappointed because I cannot have diplomacy and decorum with people that are basically trying to kill me. Okay?
Right.
So I was very disappointed in that, and I got a little bit of a case of the butt for a while, and I kind of sold up. But I'm listening to you guys. I love you, and I guess I don't fit every show, which is okay with me, because if you're going to play patty cake with the people that are, in my opinion, trying to kill a lot of Americans, literally,
right,
figuratively, then I'm not on your team, and I don't want to listen to you. So I'm a fan. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you so much, Rufus.
Thank you.
Yeah, we don't believe in decorum. One of the things that I've been saying for years is politeness is a tool of the patriarchy. I mean, why are you going to have people in and just play patty cake with them when you should be grilling them like steak? Put in hey, so what do you think about this?
I mean, why do we need to be polite about people's feelings when they clearly don't care about ours or our well-being?
Exactly. So any last minute callers, jump on the line now, because Frank, wherever he is, will stop taking calls at 10:55. So I'm going to read some emails because they have been piling up. Let's see. If I can read them. I don't have my glasses yet again. So you'd think I would have, I would keep them in my purse or something. Okay, here we go. Here is from David, Mr. White Pep. Hi, ladies. Did you all get to see Trump and head? Yes, we did. We saw that. Also, the big flag in the background was just like the Patton movie, but in Trump and Hegseth's case, it would be called pardon, since Trump pardoned all the criminals who, who attacked on Capitol Hill on January 6th. Thanks, and keep up the great work. Thank you, David. Let's see. Here's David Gonzalez, and he says, hello, Gonzo here. We went to the Extend site in Tampa where they build drones for Israel. We left hundreds of cutout hearts on their doorstep. The next time we went there, there were several TPD cars there. The mayor protects genocide for money. Well, the mayor is not actually our favorite folks in the world, but okay. Let's see. This one says, your caller just said Hamas is responsible for the West Bank. Thus, they are not educated on the issues. And then we have occupied people have a legal right under international law to armed resistance. Okay, I wish these lazy-minded racists, capitals all, would give one example of a Hamas operation since October 7th that warrants Israel's continued annihilation of Gaza. Robert and Simon, your talking points are dusty as hell. This is from Austin in Tampa. This is from Bubba. Hi, ladies. I hope you are well. I highly recommend that your listeners watch the newest episode of Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. The episode was on Netanyahu and was really eye-opening for me. It's on YouTube. Thanks, Bubba. I'll have to go watch that. I often feel that Trumpsters are lacking brain function. Why the heck do they fall for Trump's con game? I think this is only my wild hypothesis. It seems to me that extremely religious people are a lot more susceptible to the brainwashing and stuff because they get brainwashed every week. And I said that. They go to church and get brainwashed once again and then go back home. Church, synagogue, wherever they're going, they're getting brainwashed. And so if they're very, very devout, I think they're more susceptible. I know that's probably going to be a very controversial hypothesis, but I think they like to be told what to think and what to say. I often feel, okay, we did that one already. Let's see. Not only is Israel committing genocide across Palestine, they are also illegally occupying and committed war crimes in Syria, Lebanon, Qatar, Iran, etc. Free Palestine. Okay. Palestinians had a chance for a state. Instead, they decided to go to war. Now they are just dealing with the consequences of their decision. I'm sure that makes all those starving babies feel a lot better. You said it's not about Jewish people. Correct. It's about Zionism. It's not about disliking Jewish people. It's about Zionism being a political ideology posed as a religious one. I know plenty of anti-Zionist Jews who are against this genocide, like Jewish Voices for Peace. Yes. Okay. What then would October 7th be? 1428, mostly civilians massacred. So what would our response to a country if our citizens have been killed? And we've discussed that before on our show 1,000 times. We didn't have a problem when Israel clapped back on Hamas after October 7th. The problem is the continued genocide of babies and innocent civilians when it's the best, when they can blow up people on another continent with a cell phone, and yet all these babies and innocent people are dying. That's the problem. So no, we don't have a problem with self-defense. What we have a problem with is it going on and on and on and not in good faith. Nelson Mandela was labeled a terrorist by our government until 2008. That's good news for Ted. Okay. Nelson Mandela. All right, let's see. I also want to say that people attack how you say things when they don't know how to break down the truth that you're saying. Thank you, Ted. Another message from Ted. Let's talk to Suzanne or Suzanne. Let's see how she pronounces her name first in St. Petersburg. Hi, Suzanne or Suzanne. Which?
Hello?
Which is it?
It's just Suzanne, but at least you didn't say Susan. Good morning. I appreciate your show so much. I have a couple of points that I would just like to make. Patriarchy hurts men as much as it hurts women. That's something I've been just burning to add to your conversation for so long. Today is Yom Kippur, and as a Jewish person, I'm on my way to atone. And I also wanted to emphasize that as a Jewish person, you can separate being against this genocide and anti-Semitism. It's entirely possible to do. I've done it.
Right.
Other people can too. It can be done. And I think the last thing that I'd just like to add, and I know we're almost out of time, is yesterday our Secretary of War, Thunderclap, Pete Hegseth, said he did not want to see people's careers be derailed for earnest mistakes. And I'm paraphrasing. And I think by earnest mistakes, he means, little errors like sexually assaulting, sexually harassing someone. And I would just like to, and I know that does not rise to the level of saying something negative about a certain podcaster who's no longer with us. But I just wanted to say, derailing someone's career, that's kind of the point I'm trying to make. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. That's all.
All right.
Everybody have a great day.
Thank you, Suzanne. Have an easy fast.
I don't think I'm going to make it, but I'll try.
All right. So last minute thoughts, Maria.
I think the last caller pretty much summed it up, right?
Right.
I think that we have to, especially on a day like today, we have to be honest and truthful and aspire to our better angels, if you will. And there's no better day to do that than today.
Amen. One last email, Carolyn, again, just wanted to write in and say that if you've ever called yourself punk rock or hardcore and aren't speaking out now, then you are the ultimate poser. Ted, you rock. So Ted's getting his own fan base here. So, I hope that everybody takes some time to think about, okay, what actually is happening here? Because if you're so totally opposed to abortion and yet you're not speaking out against the genocide in Gaza or anywhere, then I think that's something that you and your higher being are going to have to reckon with at some point, because it really is happening in real time, and we're watching it all the time. And if we don't say something, then that makes us complicit. That's my 2 thoughts or 2 cents. Thank you so much for listening, and please join us again next week for Surly Voices on WMNF Tampa 88.5.
I like diamonds, I like stunning, I like shining, I like $1 million deals. Where's my pen? I'm signing. I like those Balenciagas, the ones that look like socks. I like going to the Tula, I put rocks all in my watch. I like texts from my exes when they want a second chance. I like proving wrong, I do what they say I can't. They call me Cardi, banging body, spicy mommy, hot tamale, hotter than a Somali. Bird, go, Ferrari, hop up the stool. loop, jump in the coop. Big dip on top of the roof, flexing them as hard as I can. Eating halal, driving a lamb. So
Recording
I'm
stop.
sorry, though.
This is